You must be exhausted, because my mind has conjured an image of you running for the better part of the day.
Hello, darlings. What will the new Fable game look like? In terms of story, there are a few directions Microsoft could go. It could be taking place after Fable 1/Fable The Lost Chapters, or taking place after Fable 3 or Fable The Journey, the Connect one, or it could be taking place in an alternate Albion. An alternate Albion could be somewhere before, during, after Fable 1, where the events of Fables 1, 2, and 3 don't really matter. I would prefer that it would take place where the stories of Fables 1, 2, and 3 do matter. Between Fable 1 and Fable 2, it would allow for more heroes. We could bring back Jack of Blades or create a villain just as compelling, just as good as Jack of Blades. I really enjoyed Jack of Blades as a villain. Plus, Jack of Blades is equivalent to the Knight of Swords tarot card. Little trivia. Peter Molyneux, who created Fable, the head of Lionhead Studios before the Fable franchise was purchased by Microsoft, said that the mistake that they did was the gap in years between Fable 1/The Lost Chapters and Fable 2. Because Fable 3 takes place just 50 years after Fable 2. In Fable 2, the time is way in the future, way advanced. Heroes are practically extinct. Magic is scarce. So the evolution of the technology in the world and everything follows sort of a renaissance, especially seen in Fable 3, which was interesting, but it didn't allow for the possibility of too many more games. With that in mind, if the new Fable takes place between Fable 1 and Fable 2, then it allows for a completely new story with new heroes, a new protagonist, or a new protagonist's family line, because in Fable 2 and 3 it's the same family line. It allows for a new series that can take place throughout many games, many years, and many games it can span between Fable 1 and Fable 2. The idea that I like if it takes place after Fable 3 is because of my theory regarding the shade light, all the shadow creatures in this mass goop of shade, of darkness. I believe that it stems from Jack of Blades because he's never really defeated, and when you do defeat him, even as a dragon. So that's just like a silly theory that I have, but you could expand on that. We see Teresa running away from that goop in Fable the Journey, and it could explore that storyline in the sense of maybe you have to go back in time to stop it. And it brings us to a time around the time of Fable 1 or before Fable 1 or between Fable 1 and 2. If we go back in time, it also would allow for things to sort of reset, find a new world, a new civilization. So all this new technology is destroyed and we're back to bows and swords, and magic is somehow reborn through this calamity. There's a resurgence in magic because magic needs to be reborn, and it kind of resets the scale. So that could be a possibility. In terms of Fable in and of itself, it needs to capture the essence of Fable. What does the essence of Fable encompass? Well, let's start with Teresa, because I've already mentioned her. She has been in every single Fable game. She is the sister of the hero in Fable 1, Fable The Lost Chapters. She is blinded by the bandits, and she has the gift of seeing the future, seeing possibilities, and she's found a way to live forever, to be immortal. And she's a guide to the hero in Fable 2, and she acts as a guide also appearing in Fable 3. In Fable The Journey, she's running away from the shade light. To me, Fable without Teresa is not really Fable. To me, she needs to be there in some capacity because she is the link between the different Fable games. The other part of the essence of Fable, it takes place in Albion. There's also always those, interesting creatures. Demon doors. I like the fairy in the trailer. Captures the essence of Fable. The cinematic trailer. If we remember, Fable 2 and Fable 3 had a cinematic trailer that ended up being the introduction to the game at the very beginning of the game. So we had the crow in Fable 2 that poops on Sparrow's head, and then there's the cutscene with the siblings. We had the chicken in Fable 3. So the fairy and the frog, it could be the first cutscene that we see at the beginning of the new Fable game, which is like the cinematic trailer transitioning into a setting of a cutscene where the cutscene takes place to begin the game and introduce the new main protagonist. So it does capture the essence of Fable.
Let me guess. A pint, is it?
Hello there, your
Looking for
majesty.
a gift? Well, you've come to the right place.
It's the great ruler.
Silly banter of the NPCs. Being able to swim, being able to change your hair color, change your outfit whenever you feel like it. The jobs, that silly little jobs, wood cutting, sword making, pie making, that can make you lots of money and make you very rich, collecting rent from people.
Do be careful while navigating the slopes of your fortune. They can be treacherous, especially on the north side.
Doing silly interactions with characters. All these little details add up to what is the essence of Fable. And I think it's important that the new Fable keeps these little details. And I mean, let's mention one of the most important details of Fable that is the essence of Fable, that made Fable 2 a good game, that was lacking in Fable 1 and Fable 3, that if it's not in the new Fable, it might make it a complete flop. Gargoyles. Let's bring back the gargoyles. Who's with me?
You're more of a crackpot than a crack shot.
New design of gargoyles. We already saw with Xbox Series X and the trailer, the graphics are going to be so much better. So we can have new and improved gargoyles and new insults.
I heard there was a prophecy about you. Yeah, something about the worst marksman of all time. Yeah, that was it.
Let's be real. The gnomes were kind of lame and they were kind of a pain. But the gargoyles, it was so satisfactory. So let's bring back the gargoyles.
Hey, what are you gonna do, huh? Shoot me? Oh, I'm shivering. Mummy, help!
Another aspect of the essence of Fable is whatever you do, it'll affect the characters around you. So friendly fire, you have no choice. There's always friendly fire. And with the choices you make and the magical abilities that you use will alter your appearance. That's the essence of Fable as well. So it needs to encompass these elements, these things. And I reached out to Russell Shaw, who worked on the music in the previous Fable games. No answer yet. It might be too soon. There's nothing on IMDb yet, and he might not be able to say anything whether he is or not working on the music for the next Fable games because of NDA contracts or anything like that. So it might be too soon to know those types of details. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new here, this channel is all about Dragon Age with the occasional Fable, Mass Effect, or SWTOR video from time to time. Check out playlists in the description of this video. Check out my exclusive merch. Check out my book. And I'll see you all soon. Masaranas. If you're new here and you like my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Like it if you like it, for the like it if you like it dance. You can also follow my website, binkyproductions.com, where I post everything from all my channels. Exclusive! If you want to support me, consider buying my book, Stardust Destinies 1, Variant Facing, Magic, Dragons, Fantasy, all relevant links below. Thank you so much for your time. Your continued viewership is very much appreciated. Maseranas.